Hello everyone and welcome, Simon here from the Whales of Wall Street. I hope you're doing fantastically well wherever you are in the world. Today we're going to be looking at Ultra, which is the UOS token, available currently on Bithumb. I think that's BitGlobal now, so just double check you definitely got the right exchange there if you do choose that one. Qcoin, obviously a big player, and that's just recently been added for UOS as well. We'll go into that in a moment. And Bitfinex and Gate as well, mostly BTC or USDT pairings there. A rough price at the moment of 0.95, so 95 cents, nearly on the nose. We've had a bit of a rocket up and down in the last week or so, and we'll go to that in the chart analysis towards the end of this video. But first, I wanted to introduce this ultimate awesome project. I love gaming, I love esports, as you know from previous videos. The gaming market is anticipated to hit 256, this is very accurate, $256.97 billion by the year 2025, and an estimation of $314-ish billion in 2026. Even at that period of time, the amount of volume of market value is absolutely insane in that just year, and we got so much to grow from now until then, of course. But the way everything is going, we're probably going to exceed those two numbers I just thrown out there. And I'm also going to throw out there that over 2.5 billion gamers out in the world right now, so that will continue to grow as well through apps, gaming, console gaming, PC gaming, all the usual stuff. Now Ultra is basically a blockchain, and it's allowing developers, coders, creators of games to develop whatever they want within this platform and basically be able to utilize a marketplace infrastructure to buy and sell games. So the way this kind of works in the gaming arena, particularly around sort of digital and streaming gaming, if you like, you tend to get something like a distribution fee. So when you create a game, you then get charged by the company you're putting on the platform of. So for example, in the background you see like Apple, Google, Steam here, which is my favorite one at the moment, to be able to essentially get charged to put your game on there. And obviously there's like different applications of how much you make and don't make in terms of that aspect as well. So the marketplace itself actually launched in June, so there's loads of opportunity still for humongous development as the years go on for this opportunity within gaming and things like that. Incredible partners already linked with Ultra. So you've got the likes of AMD, who are actually powerhouse of gaming, Ubisoft and Atari, of course, one of my favorite old school retro brands, which is still making games and consoles to this date. So you've got things like as well other kind of companies like Theta, Elrond also getting involved in the partnerships of this incredible ecosystem and gaming blockchain technology. So you've got Steam, Xbox, PlayStation, all utilizing things like HTML, Unity, Frostbite, the Unreal engines, the 3D engines, all of this amazing stuff for that as well. And one of the beauties of this is the software development kit. So you may see that terminology insinuated as SDK. There's very much a big emphasis on that ecosystem and structuring of development gaming. So absolutely incredible. Low fees as well for those that do have an interest or do create games. It's very much a big, massive thing there to consider. So as well as that, you've got things like smart contracts, so being able to validate and confirm your game, the amount of times it's being sent out, copied, redistributed, which we'll go on to in a second as well. So that whole aspect is absolutely fantastic for gaming. And also with the NFT thing, as things develop in the years to come, we're removing centralized gaming, everyone, okay? We're removing the ability of centralized gaming. We're opening it up to decentralization. You've seen things like Decentraland, with the Mana token. We've seen things like the NFTs, the application of that, Omi, Ecomi. All of these things are, as NFTs, allowing you to essentially pass these through different games within an ecosystem. And that's this kind of ecosystem that will do that. So you've got games as well like Network coming out of Sandbox. Imagine just taking your assets or gaming attributes as an avatar within the world of gaming to go, yeah, I'm going to go to this world or this game now, but I want to take this and I want to wear this aspect and skins and commodities of hats, wallets, whatever you've got on you, walking around with dinosaurs, or your NFT token you got from Mikomi, so you're wandering around with Pikachu one day kind of thing. How cool would that be? It's literally Ready Player One mentality. So you've got things like Network that are kind of like the actual game side of things, but Ultra is kind of like the ecosystem, if you like, that will allow that kind of thing to happen through blockchain, tokenomics, and all of this cool stuff as well. So in terms of the tokenomics, I won't go through every single page of this awesome white paper that these guys put, but essentially the tokenomics is around sort of purchase burning. So if you're watching games, if you're playing games, you'll get rewarded. So you get that aspect of rewarded of tokenomics in the UOS token, as well as buying games, selling games, you're getting tokens. You also get referrals and tokenomics around if you were to pass that game on to someone else, you would be able to also get tokens because of that. And then of course the owner and the creator of the game will get referral tokens and also money extra from the pass on. So if you think about like gaming now, when you go into a game store or buy one online and you've had enough of the game, you then go and either put it into like something like CEX or an exchange store, or you send it back to the retailer you got it to get credits or whatever. It removes all of that. And because everything, almost games going digital codes now and things like this, economically and sustainability and everything like this is actually really good for the environment and things like that as well, but also like removes the admin side and all of that, and also allows the creator and the gamer to be able to add more value to their work they've done. So when you do go and do a pre-ordered game, or when you buy a pre-ordered game, the developer probably, I'm sure, gets some kind of royalty. I'm not really sure the ins and outs, but you can't track that. You can never like maintain that. Or if I gave my game to a mate or something digitally, you can't trace that. Like Ubisoft wouldn't make more money out of me unless of course my mate would go and buy stuff in the game, of course. But generally speaking, like there is no way of determining that. And that's where blockchain comes in, smart contracts come in and things like this, for you to be able to see the transactional history, which is what blockchain is about. Essentially putting the nodes and the hashes in to show that this is the transactional history of this game. Yeah. And not only that, but the value of the game. If you've only done certain amounts of editions of it, or you created unique editions of the game, like you see with any game out there at the moment, like you have, for example, FIFA Standard, you have FIFA Ultimates, you have FIFA like Special Edition or Messi Edition, Ronaldo Edition, whatever it is, you can still do that within this, but you have more application to it, you know, more value to each of these projects that you're doing. So absolutely incredible. The Ultra Protocol, working on its 3.0 ecosystem right now, absolutely incredible. Up to 100,000 transactions per second. 100,000 transactions per second. So confirmation speeds of Ultra, for example, up to 3 seconds versus 10 minutes of Ethereum, 12. I don't really like it when they compare to these two, because I think everyone knows now that Ethereum and Bitcoin, we must admire them because they were the ultimate ones that created blockchain cryptography, especially Bitcoin, Satoshi Nakamoto or whatever. But a whole history, go and look in the history of Bitcoin and Ethereum. It's really fascinating. Obviously Ethereum came slightly after, but the programs are slightly different, the chains are slightly different in the economics of it all and everything. But I'd like to see this maybe being more compared with other blockchain technology, things like NFT platform transactions like Rarible, and also things like maybe XDC, other chain technologies, Polygon, all of this kind of stuff, you know, because I think it's a bit unfair and it kind of misleads people, because anyone's better than Ethereum and Bitcoin when it comes to transaction speeds and things like that. But the volume as well is absolutely gigantic. Transaction fees absolutely gigantic. So if you're a gamer developer, I suppose the other thing around this is if you're new to crypto or you're new to the blockchain space and you're going, right, which platform or chain do I want to use for my smart contracts, etc., to develop my game and sell it in the future? What's going to be more beneficial to me? Well, obviously this one wins hands down at the moment, because you're even not losing money on fees either. So the whole technology of blockchain, you know, I can do a video on that one day. So I'm not going to go into massive detail what blockchain is and how it's going to work, etc. Blah blah. But key elements here in terms of investments in the games, the player earnings as well. So you as a player, as well as developers, will get rewarded in tokens also. The mining aspect's really interesting. So this comes from sharing computing space. Right, so utilizing GPU, technology. So let's say I got my laptop and some of the GPU is being used towards a game, but actually I'm not using 30% of it because the game's not utilizing that, etc. Or I'm not using my laptop at all today, so I can basically send my GPU space to be used on the ecosystem to then get rewarded by the mining process. Yeah, so. For example, ultra mining then sends the coins. Then what do? I can then use those coins to go and buy more games, to go and buy more assets when the NFT platform joins. Or I can go and exchange the tokens on an exchange and get money for them. Honestly, this ecosystem is absolutely phenomenal. I can't believe I've only really just come about this, to be honest. I've FOMO'd in. I'm always honest on this channel. I've FOMO'd in because I absolutely believe in this project right now. Yes, I could have bought it back. We'll go into the chart in a minute. I'll leave the story for there because I'll wind myself up before we've even finished this part. But here we go, about the SDK, so software development kits. This is allowing bridging, essentially, of utilizing other platforms like Steam, which is one of my favorites, Xbox, which I've got personally, PlayStation is what it is, of course, everyone knows that. Utilizing all these things which I mentioned earlier, as well as these awesome opportunities, C, C++ as well, from coding, etc. So it's all bringing it kind of together, really, in one unique system. And then eventually Ultra will start producing the games that you will see on Xbox, that you will see on Steam. And ultimately will just create the brand new ecosystem needed for blockchain, for smart contracts in the gaming arena, for you as a gamer to be able to become your own avatar, to be able to transition through different games and not go, oh, I bought all this stuff on Call of Duty, but half of it won't work in this game because obviously it's a different developer, different company, etc. Obviously some things need to be bridged, but that's where digital comes in. Interoperability doesn't always have to work on finance. It will work in gaming as well, because these game developers will have no choice but to utilize, because the money that will be thrown into this space will be absolutely huge. They will be stupid not to. It's like when Alexa devices, Amazon Alexa came in, the retailers were like, oh, well, we kind of need to sell this because if we don't, we're going to miss out on sales of that and other products that link smart home together. That's my take on it from personal work, etc., and what I do as a job. So understanding that mechanism is really important. The same is with gaming. If you have a system where you have the choice to either go, well, we're not going to sell it and miss out, but we have to sell it, but then there's the ultimatum that actually they might be shooting themselves in the foot, as it were, in the long term, because they're losing that centralized power. We don't care about that. We want decentralization in gaming. We want a fairer system. We want the developers and the creators to be the ones that make the most money. Of course, you have to think about economy in general, that gaming, it closes stores down, which has been happening, to be honest, for the last 15, 20 years anyway, because of the way everyone shops, the behavioral patterns. I haven't bought a disc game for probably about 6 years. I get mine digital codes. But it'd be even better, like with Steam, for example. I don't even have to have a code. I'll just download it. I'm downloading old school games I used to play, like when I was a kid and stuff. It's incredible. But imagine having that on a blockchain system. Full on Ready Player One mechanism this is, guys. I know I say that about network, and I think network's more about the application of how you would play the game, as I mentioned earlier. But I think this is the actual ecosystem. This is what's going to make everything tick. And I'm so excited about this. Keep an eye on their Twitter account, obviously, for updates and things like that. 12th of August, for example, they were allowing the exchange swapping around Qcoin. So they've got that partnership in place, was absolutely fantastic. When this thing hits like Binance and all these other smart contract, smart chains and stuff, that's going to take it to another level price point wise, absolutely. But I really love what they're doing. The community aspect's fantastic. Even like awareness of like next Monday, the system's going down for a few hours for maintenance, etc. Keep an eye on it, it's really cool. And another thing to push out here as well, in fact, I think this launched today, this article actually, carbon neutral. When you're looking at blockchain technology, everyone's fighting for that green space, energy certification, carbon neutral energy usage certified. Absolutely exactly what you see. Kilograms of CO2 per transaction, blah, blah. So if you're thinking moralistically around, I don't want to get Bitcoin because it's environmentally unfriendly, irrespective of the money that you make from it, I'm actually really conscious about this sort of stuff. And the whole point of decentralization, blockchain, Agenda 30, World Economic Forum programs is to move the world into a more sustainable, environmentally friendly place so we have a future to be living on, a better, more efficient world. And that's where this works. So you very much got that whole ecosystem of the mining that I mentioned, which is absolutely phenomenal. It reminds me of shadow gaming. So I use shadow platform as well, which is basically like a mirrored window to a server in France, for example, that will allow you to essentially have like a 5 to 10 grand worth of laptops sitting on your screen, but you're actually not using any of the power other than the screen power of your laptop and the internet connection to play the game. And it allows you to play because I have terrible internet here, but I have access of gigabit internet through this shadow cloud platform. This is where gaming is going, guys. Like, everyone needs to wake up to it. Absolutely. So that's kind of like an overview of the Ultra platform. We've covered things like the mainnet, the marketplace coming out soon for the NFTs, the partnerships. We've covered things like the mining, the staking as well, by the way, is operational as well. So do go and check that out also. And the game's being classed as NFTs, which ultimately leads back into the smart contract aspect and what blockchain is about. So with all of that out the way, let's go into the chart and see where we are with this incredible and very exciting project. So let's just pull that up now. So as I said earlier, trading at the moment in time of recording around 0.95 to 95 cents. I've drawn a few things on here, both a previous chart and this one I've updated recently to show the newer levels of support and resistance. So we recently went parabolic on this date, 12th of August, to $1.10. That was literally, I believe, the KuCoin announcement of exchange. So you're going to see a lot of volume and interaction because now it's available on a mainstream exchange to be able to buy them and exchange them into the UOS platform, which, by the way, you can download for free on their website. That allows you essentially the wallet for Ultra to be able to exchange tokens back and forth through other exchanges, as well as utilizing it as a token within the ecosystem. That was one point I didn't mention in the main part, but here we go. So we've tried to test that area again at $1.09. This, in my opinion, will start potentially narrowing this MACD gap slightly as we hit that resistance level of the dollar. I do believe we have hit a bit of a ceiling and we may see some sideways action before some potential corrections as we hit that opportunity there. We had the correction here, which is understandable because of the giant leap. And then we had more volumes coming in here, here, and here. This is why I believe we'll have maybe a bit of a tail off before we start seeing some acceleration again. With this project, right, I know people talk about big bear markets and things like this, but I generally believe like the tokenomics and especially the gaming industry, that will never sit still. So I'm really intrigued to see what happens to this over the next 6 months as we transition into a potential bear market before we come back in like 2-3 years time, whatever. So I put these purple areas in here where I'm anticipating a bit more growth patterns, but I do anticipate we might have a few drop backs in these areas. They're not fully accurate, but this is where I'm going to be starting to buy, put buy opportunities. So I did buy a bag this morning because I was so excited. Obviously, I should have tried to have known about this product ages ago when it was like 25 cents perhaps earlier this year, and even lower back in the 15-cent region, but I didn't. So that's fine. And I do anticipate, of course, like the rest of the market, potentially to have 50% to 80% reductions over that bear market potentially. Whether that happens or not with this token, I'm not sure. But that's why I'm doing dollar cost averaging and thinking, okay, well, It may not come as low as these. I've missed that opportunity. Fair play to those that have been more awake than I am. But that's part of this space. I'm always learning. And I know that you guys out there, I'm sure, are still learning everything about this space. And for me, I should have been more focused on this. Perhaps because it wasn't on a mainstream exchange. I think when I was looking at this token maybe 3 months ago, that's what put me off. I remember now. So it's always been on my radar because I picked it up on Crypto Slate a long time ago and I just sat on it. So here it is now in a bit more of a mainstream aspect. Gamers, developers, more and more will be coming on. More partnerships will develop. So I do believe this has absolutely massive potential. Price prediction wise, I don't really want to go massively into that right now, but we could argue that this thing is going to still at least be able to double your position as to where it is right now, and maybe beyond that as well. So we just need to keep an eye on that movement. I will do a price prediction in a video following on from this, perhaps next week sometime, once we get a bit more confirmation of support and resistance mechanisms here, and then we can make a more accurate decision on that. So everything's looking really tidy on this. The RSI, still room for improvement in terms of moving upwards. But like I said, do keep an eye on the narrowing of the MACD because of this potential resistance level here. However, if we get closure over that $1 mark in the next week or so, you will start seeing a big push up. And then it's again into price discovery mode. Who knows where it will go. But guys, this is absolutely fantastic. I really wish that I had more confidence back in the day to utilize other exchanges and get more involved in these kind of projects. Actually take the time to learn how to do it rather than be put off by them. It's not just this one, there's multiple projects that I can list. Maybe I'll do a video on it about the ones that got away, as it were. But I bought some today. I know it's probably going to do a correction at some point and I'll miss out. But I just wanted some to begin with. So then I've got a starting point in my portfolio to go, okay, this is it now. Whether I'm in a loss or a profit, I can now start reacting to my position from this point. This isn't financial advice. Of course, everyone's got their own strategies and everything. But look at these performance areas on the right-hand side here. Year to date, 649%. Absolutely fantastic. The others look green and randy dandy as well. I'm sure that will continue to be absolutely gigantic as time goes on. This is probably one of the longer videos I've done, but I had to throw everything that I could, both from my experience in gaming personally and also gaming through work from a market perspective, but also the application of the partnerships, the tokenomics, the economics. It's all ringing positivity to me with this project. I'm really excited. But yeah, for me, I will be buying this in on drops 100%. This is certainly a long-term thing for me. And if it's gaming applicated, I'm probably going to be buying games with it as well. So it's not just, a project for, cryptocurrency, profit and loss, etc. It's more actually, I'll probably utilize these tokens because I'm a big gamer. So that out of the way, yeah, absolutely fantastic. Really looking forward to the opportunities moving forward with this. And I will definitely be taking advantage of the mining and also the staking opportunities, because I do think there's a big opportunity there to actually counteract things and have a balance of both utilizing it for gaming as well as being able to use it to make some money off it as well in the chart. So guys, let me know in the comments below if you have UOS tokens in your portfolio. When did you get in? How's your portfolio looking? Don't need to know exact numbers, but tell me whether it's good or bad, and what you're excited the most about UOS and Ultra in the near future and the long term as well. And what's your price prediction? Throw it all in there. I love reading them all. I've replied to every single one of them. We'll mention some of them in the next video as well. Let's go to the moon with this one, guys. I am done right now with this video because I have absolutely loved covering this. I have absolutely loved researching it. All that's left for me to say is thank you so much for watching. Thank you for subscribing. And if you haven't done so already, please make sure you do. We are floating to 1,000. And when we get to 1,000, we're going to do something special. I'm leaving it there. I've run out of energy from all this excitement. Thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.